Hey everybody, Adam here with a update on my obsession with Warhammer Historicals. As I mentioned before, I was fortunate enough to get a copy of each edition of the rulebook. So here we are having a quick look just at what I got. The first one is the original 1.0 Ancient Battles. As you can see, it's in relatively good condition. I believe it was based off of 6th edition fantasy. So you can have a better look at both pages and you can see some of my Aztec army. so lots of stuff to see. Some comments about the buildings and the fortifications, some of the stats for some of the rules, building an army list, things of that nature. And in the back, they had some web addresses, or useful addresses, what they call it, where they talk about manufacturers, magazines, and the societies at the time. You have to remember this is early 2000s or mid 2000s when this came out. Next up, after a few years, was the 1.5 edition, which kept the same cover, but sort of like with a few minor changes, some updates from the FAQs and erratas that they put out over the course of the years, especially with some of the army books that came out. So this one's actually in pretty good condition. I got it, I believe it had to have been less, around $50 maybe shipped. Same with the original rule book. It was approximately $50 total, so not too bad, but certainly more than the original price. And it looks like a lot of it stayed the same. The back's a little different now because they have all the new supplements. They added those. They changed like a border skirmish, or is more of a skirmish fighting as opposed to, or skirmish size as opposed to large scale battles with just a few units, as you can see here. Come with the appendixes, talk about some of the other armies. So it's fleshed out more of the army list, some clarifications. A bit of that. Again, couldn't have been more than $50 shipping. This one, interestingly enough, is the 2.0 right before they shut down the historical department, I guess, for Games Workshop. Limited print towards the end of the production. I believe it's 2012. Hardback, which kind of surprised me because they switched to hardback, and I guess they're moving towards that towards the end. And so it's a little bit worn. You can see a bit scuffed on the edges. That just means it's been used. I'm not too worried about it. I don't need anything pristine, although at the same time, I don't need anything that looks very well worn, so to speak. But it was fine. Funny enough, I hadn't seen any of these in a while, and I was trolling eBay, and one came up, and I essentially started a bidding war with someone, and eventually it sold for almost, I think, like $300. And literally a week later, I got this one, which I ended up paying about $125, I think it was. So I kind of feel bad for the guy that outbid me for that original one. And now I see there's at least 2 or 3 still out there, about the same price, $125, I think $150 on the higher end. But again, it's a hardcover, so it's a bit more to it. So I believe it was more expensive at the time. Again, rules clarifications with the armies. I believe there's some issues with some of the armies, especially how they interacted with the older army lists. At the time of this publication, they're in the process of also redoing the army list. So there's a second edition 2.0 version of the armies. I think it's the Armies of Antiquity book, or either that or Follow the West. I believe it's Follow the West. I'll have to double check. And I don't want to move away from the phone right now. So again, gives lists, whatever. Romans, troops, barbarian army lists, very generic. building the new list, different kinds of lists, different kinds of armies, more reference guide, and more clarifications, so to speak. It looks like a lot of them, which is, I mean, to be honest, is typical for GW games in general. But again, unlike the first one, there's no, let's look at the very back. Just what's available now and some of the other games they put out, the website. You notice in all three of them, there is not an index at the back of the book, which is very typical for Games Workshop. And I don't know if they ever plan on putting one. I think with one edition with 40K they did, but in this particular one, the 2.0, like I mentioned, they had been starting to put in more of the to convert the older books into the 2.0 version. So they had one, I believe it was Armies of Antiquity or Fall of the West. I'm not 100% sure, but I will let you guys know because that will be the next one that I get. So it'll be the other, looking for the other 2.0 Army List book that they came out after they did 2.0 for Warhammer Ancients. This is just a quick update video, like I said. So that's where I'm at right now. As soon as I get the other books, I'll let you guys know where I'm at and where I am at overall in regards to collecting the rest of the books. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening and watching this quick video. Like and subscribe because I don't know when I'll do the next one, to be honest, because I am busy with a lot of life stuff, as most of us are. And I'll see you all at the next update.